Good afternoon. I'd like to call the meeting of the Oklahoma City Metropolitan Area Public Schools Trust to order. We do have a quorum. First order of business is to approve the minutes of the July 19th meeting of the Trust. I'd recognize a motion to that effect. So moved. Been moved or second? Second. Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Passes. We've got two sets of final plans and specifications to approve. Mr. Winger.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first presentation for your consideration this afternoon are the final plans and specifications for Columbus at Jackson Elementary School. These are for bids to be received on August 23rd. We do have Doug Howard to make the presentation to you today. What you'll find with this project is it's predominantly a remodel project, and at the time, or at the current moment, we have a project budget that's been met, so it's not expected that the bids are going to exceed that $5.1 million budget. Doug?
Okay. Thank you, Eric. I'm Doug Howard with Howard & Associates. You used to see my twin brother, Bob, up here, but he's vacationing, so I'm here to take his place. As Eric said, this is a renovation project. It's a large renovation project. It's, as we had told you before, Columbus is a elementary school moving over to a middle school building, so we're renovating a middle school building into elementary functions. Okay. Oops. Moved the wrong one, didn't I? There you go. Okay, next one, I guess. That's the facade of the front. We're adding a new entry that's handicap accessible that will be in the new entry, and there in the center will be a new pair of doors that will take you into the building. Okay. Okay, the project outline, the existing building is being renovated in the typical manner of all of the different site and assessment things that cover basically finishes, lighting, electrical, flooring, ceiling grids, lighting, bringing the building up to the current guideline standards. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. It's a conversion to accommodate 778 students. It's a large building. It's about 96,000 square feet, and it will have your typical elementary functions in it. And the building is being remodeled to accommodate these functions. Classrooms, they have a lot of classrooms we're just going to reuse, but update those, but then we're having to change some of the other areas to create the media centers and things like that. So let me get into that. The basic things in the site and assessment always address handicap accessibility, and besides the finishes, so the building is made completely accessible, restrooms, sidewalks, door hardware, toilets, all those type things, ramps, getting in the building, handicap parking. These are just some of the things that we've shown you before. We are replacing a portion of the roof. It's a big part of our budget. Some of it was about 60% is what we're replacing. Okay, this is a site plan, and we do have one alternate shown. It is a drop-off drive on the main entry side of the building. It's on the lower portion of the screen. It says alternate number 1, and that's the only alternate that we have. Looking up from that, you'll see outside the building in the center, you'll see a new set of steps and ramps that take you up into the building, making it ADA accessible. And the green area, as you go straight in from the lowest portion, is the administrative area that is being placed in what used to be the library. And above that, in the purple, purplish blue, is the media center, which is in an area where it used to have an auditorium, and we're filling in the floor slab to regain the floor area in that space. All right. A little closer view of what I just spoke of. Again, down in the bottom center is the new administrative area, the new reading room above. The building happens to have a gym, so this building will not have to have a new gym placed in it. We are changing all the finishes in the gym to meet the current guidelines. And the basic remaining space is classrooms. We are putting in a new elevator, make it handicap accessible, and just updating kitchen equipment, things like that. That is the first floor. This is the second floor. Second floor is made up mainly of classrooms and restrooms and a few other offices to meet the guidelines, guidance, psychology, workrooms, things like that. This is the appearance from the first slide that we showed you. It shows the new steps coming into the building. Right now, the only two entrances, the entrances are on each side of this form that sticks out with all the arch windows. So you don't have a real true identifiable entry. But as we've told you before, we're trying to create a new entry, kind of centered in the building, make it symmetrical. And as you go in there, it will take you into the space and then around through the administration area where they can observe. This is a slide in the media center. It happens to be in the stage area that was the auditorium, so we're making use of a volume of space that will be real nice for the library media center. You can see in the rendering 2 people looking through the second floor hallway down into the space. So that volume of space was a big asset, and that's why we placed the media center, which is in the central location of the building. This is just looking down the hallway where we're changing ceilings, floorings, walls, paint colors, and things typically done in upgrading a school. This is the hallway at the ground floor level where we're opening up some of the walls, putting in new glass. This is our color board. The existing building has terrazzo floor in some of the main hallways. We're then going back with new carpeting in the administration area, VCT in other areas. We are refinishing some wood floors that they have in the classrooms. So it'll have brand new appearance. Right now there are piping for HVAC that run in the hallway, kind of distracts from the appearance, so we're going to put in new lay grid seating below that, and it's going to freshen up real nice. The schedule, as you can see, we're down into the bidding process, getting your approval to put it out to bids, and as soon as we bid this on August 23rd with your approval, then construction can begin in September of 2011. This project is, I think we've told you before, we're bringing on some additional portables that are going to be used outside with some probably 6 new ones there. I think they've been placed there already. We already have 5 or 6, and at the time we renovate, we're going to take all the people out of the first floor area, move them over into the portables, give the contractor a pretty clean area to work as far as the classroom areas, and then at the time that's finished, the second floor will then move over to the portables. And that, because there's no extra space in the building to take advantage of by phasing into a more detailed situation. So this would appear to be the most cost-effective way to do it. And that puts us at a completion date of August 2013. Okay. This is our alternate price. This shows that for the drop-off drive in front, it is an alternate. Its estimated cost about $165,000. As Eric pointed out, our estimate brings us under budget. The budget's $5,153,000. Our estimate's about $5,001,000, or $1,300, and so that's about $152,000 under budget. We've kept the alternate as an alternate rather than put it in the base bid, just so we can protect the budget, as it was not budgeted to be in the project to begin with. But we're real excited about this project, and I think it'll be one of the nicer showpieces inside when it is finished. Nice group of kids that'll be coming over. Okay, any questions?
Are there any questions? Anthony?
Does the budget include any exterior washing?
Yes, this budget does include some of the typical things to upgrade the appearance of the building. There's quite a bit of brick needs to be cleaned. It's a buff brick, but it has quite a bit of dirty spots. We're doing that. We're caulking and cleaning all the cast stone, which is at the windowsills and at the parapet. We're caulking and sealing the window frames. We're taking off the security frames, which I think you've heard quite a bit from previous projects, and that will help the appearance of the building. Landscaping, we're putting in some new landscaping in certain strategic points that will help. We're going to do some site work, and I didn't mention this, but obviously some new parking. We're going to resurface 2 basketball courts, dress them up. But the buildings really, of the ones we've done, it's probably in a little better shape except for the cleaning of the appearance. There's not a lot of cracks in the brick or things like that need to be tuck pointed, but it will have a nice appearance, clean appearance.
Thank you.
Other questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'd recognize a motion to approve these final plans and specifications. So moved. Been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Passes. Next item, approve the revised final plans and specifications for West Nichols Hills Elementary School.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a second presentation for you today. It is the rebid of the West Nichols Hills project. If you recall, back in April of this year, we received bids on the project. There were 7 bidders, and the lowest bidder exceeded our budget by $1.1 million. At that time, we rejected those bids and asked the architect to go back and redesign the project. And so what you have before you today is those revised plans for your consideration. I do have David Hornbeek here to make that presentation. One of the things that I'll note in the memo that you have in front of you, though, is that we weren't able to completely return the project to its original budget. It still is estimated to be about $577,000 over that budget, but all opportunity to reduce the cost have been taken. We are meeting the minimums of what are required for the Maps for Kids projects and our design standards, so we are recommending that we pursue and move forward on this project with the design that's before you today. But with that, David can make the presentation and answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Eric. Chairman Edwards, the remainder of the board. My name is David Hornbeek. I'm with Hornbeek Blatt. It's with a little bit of trepidation that I come back a second time. We haven't had to do this before. But essentially, you've seen this presentation. We're designing to accommodate 344 total student population with an addition now of 9,600 square foot. It's onto an existing school of about 34,000 square feet, and all of the basics remain the same. What we've essentially done is added several alternates to some things that weren't in the original PIP, and we believe that's going to take out about $500,000 worth of the cost. None of these things were affected. All of these stay the same. This was the original site plan with the looking down in the temporary buildings. This was is our proposed scheme of how to add on to the building. This is a blow-up of the main area with a lot of where we're changing and doing some remodeling. We're moving the administration office to the front where it can have control over the front entry, and we're moving the new media center across the hall where the admin used to be. And then this is a couple of views of what the addition will look like. That's the new addition to the cafeteria. Different views. This is a new classroom wing on the east side. Same new classroom wing. This is our color board. The colors were approved the last time. And I don't know if you all remember, but we had some concerns from the neighborhood in terms of traffic flow, and so we worked out a scheme, and we also did it in conjunction with Christ the King, so that our traffic will do its utmost not to back up along Coventry and create the problems that were occurring earlier. This is the new proposed cost estimate. You can see we expect it to come in at about $3,600,000. It is over budget, and we ask for your consideration and approval. If we get your approval today, it will go out for bid tomorrow, and we expect to open bids on August the 30th. If we open bids on August 30th, we hope to be successful. We hope to be under construction by September 15th and have this school underway.
Were there some items in the PIP that were not properly estimated? Is that one of the reasons that you've got the issue?
Well, some of the things that occurred were the concerns for of the traffic in that neighborhood and what we had in terms of in fact, the people that were the most vociferous were really people in Nichols Hills, not Oklahoma City. And this school is actually on its east boundary is Nichols Hills, its south boundary is Nichols Hills, and its north boundary, it's like carved out. And so some of the things that we did that we've proposed to satisfy some of those concerns were not in the PIP.
I see. Other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd recognize a motion to approve these revised final plans and specifications for West Nichols Hills Elementary School and authorize the Secretary to advertise for bids to be received August 30, 2011. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Passes. We now have a couple of contract amendments. First, we're asking to approve an agreement for community outreach services between the Gooden Group, Inc. and the Oklahoma City Metropolitan Area Public Schools Trust, a fee not to exceed $100,000.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This agreement is similar to the one that you originally approved on October 21st of 2008. That agreement actually expired. It had some terms for extension that we have completely utilized, and so this is actually a new agreement that is pursuing the same level of service for community outreach. Predominantly, the Gooden Group provides for us ribbon cutting and groundbreaking ceremony opportunities for the schools as we enter into and complete construction. They will also, under this agreement, complete the last of the annual reports on behalf of the MAPS Trust, and so we're looking at one final report as a part of this agreement as well. But with that, the agreement's in the amount that we've previously approved for prior years. It's only expended up to the amount that they extend services, and with that, I can answer any questions that you might have.
Other questions? Seeing none, I'd ask for a motion for approval.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Passes. Next item is to approve an architectural contract amendment number 1 with Craft and Toll & Associates for Rogers Middle School, increase of $97,500, project ES68.
Rogers Elementary is one of the schools under the original PIP that was approved that did not meet the requirements of the school for educational specifications and design standards. And so as the architect finished the schematic design, there were a number of items that were identified that needed to be included as a part of the design and construction. The total cost of those additional improvements to meet our standards was about $1.2 million. And with that additional work, the architect requested additional services to complete the design. So utilizing the same fee schedule, more or less, that we had negotiated the original agreement, this amendment contemplates the additional work necessary for the $1.2 million in improvements at a total cost of $97,500. It would be completed on the same schedule, and we recommend approval.
Other questions?
Is it expected that there'll be a corresponding increase in the budget for the project construction itself?
There is, and so we have a pending PIP amendment that we would then make that also a change. So today we're amending the architectural agreement. What we would ask that you do in approximately a month is to consider the approval of a PIP amendment that increases its construction budget.
Other questions? Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. We now have 3 change orders. First is to recommend to the Board of Education of Independent School District number 89, change order number 8, Capitol Hill High School.
Thank you. Capitol Hill's about 60% complete, so construction's moving along well. It's a change order for $101,305. There's several items on this change order, 7 to be exact. The most significant is item number 3. There's some electrical revisions that are needed for the field house. There were some new transformers that were set by OG&E, and the field house did not anticipate connection to the new transformer, so that cost of $25,534 is included. The second and most major item is item number 7. There's some existing gas, sewer, and acid waste lines that serve one of the second-floor laboratories that need to be brought up to code. And so it's the replacement of all of those service lines to that laboratory as we modernize it and add new equipment to that as well. Total change is less than 1%. With all the change orders to date, it will be just under 8%. There's 5 days also included as a part of the change order with a completion date of August 2012. We recommend approval.
Questions? Seeing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second? Second. Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Passes. Next item, recommend the Board of Education of Independent School District Number 89 approve change order number 4 for Johnson Elementary School, increase $58,527, project EB20.
Thank you. Johnson's about 70% complete. This change order represents about 3% in changes. You'll notice numerous items, some which are also credits to the project, items that were identified by the architect as not being required. Then you'll also find other items that were needed as well. So item number 1, for example, are marker and tack boards, replacing the existing chalkboards throughout the facility for just under $30,000. That was the most significant item included. I can answer any questions on the others. Total changes on the project is 9% with an expected completion of December of this year.
Questions? Seeing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Final change order number 8 for Kaiser Elementary School, increase of $26,441.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Kaiser's been complete for some time, and what you'll find is a list of 5 items on this change order that were at the request of the school and the school district, from additional ramp, mixing valves on some of the plumbing, electrical modifications, toilet partitions, and such. And so we are anticipating that this be the final change order for Kaiser. It's about 0.5% in changes. Again, the project is complete, and we're recommending approval.
Questions? Seeing none, is there a motion for approval?
Move approval.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Next item is to accept the Cesar Chavez Elementary School project and place the maintenance bond into effect, project ES-18.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Chavez obviously has been a significant project for us. It's the last of the new elementaries under the Maps for Kids program. The final construction cost on Chavez was $9.7 million, and school opened on Monday. So we're proud to present this to you as the final acceptance for Cesar Chavez.
Questions? Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Mr. Couch.
Mr. Chairman, several things. Right now, we've got 25 schools under construction. Many of those are anticipated to be completed this fall. We have 13 schools in design, and all but the downtown elementary school is anticipated to be bid by the end of the year. In the next few weeks, we're going to bid Hayes on August 16th. Columbus at Jackson, we approved this morning, is August 23rd. West Nichols Hills, we just approved, is August 30th. Rockwood on September 7th. Spencer on September 13th. And then Capitol Hill Elementary School on October 4th. And so by October 4th, when we get that one bid, we're going to be down to 7 schools left in design. And that seems to be significant. We're down to the tail end, at least, of the design phase of the approach. Of course, we're still doing the I-89 2000 bond issue projects, 54 kindergarten classrooms, 47 gymnasiums, and 2 stadiums. A total of that's $109 million. The projects are organized into 12 groups. Work is underway on Project Group 1, which is gyms and classrooms, Group 2, which is gyms and classrooms, and Group 12, which is the stadiums. Project Groups 3 and 4 have been advertised for architects, and selection is underway. Work proceeding with first construction projects beginning early in 2012. Anticipated completion of all the construction by June of 15. Community meetings will resume on the final designs for the remaining schools this month. The school district, as you, I think, all know, has moved to the continuous learning calendar for this year, for calendar year 11-12. Classes began yesterday, Monday, August 1st. All schools under construction were open on time, except for Eugene Fields, and that will open on Thursday. So we're close on that. Challenges due to the reduced working time during the summer break are going to continue as we go forward, because we used to use that to get a lot of our stuff done, and now that window has gotten a lot smaller. So that will be a challenge for us. We have a PIP amendment that's under review. The adjustments will be to the project budgets, the project completions, and additional projects. Adams roofing needs to be done. That's an additional project. And then we're also going to try to upgrade playgrounds. In several of the elementary schools did not get that the first time around. And our next meeting is 2 weeks from today, on August 16th. I promise you it will be cooler.
Don't write checks you can't
It
pay.
can't be hotter.
Other than that final comment, are there any other questions?
I have a comment.
Yes.
Just as I was hearing Mr. Couch's presentation, it dawned on me that we've done a lot of work, and with just approving the last community outreach document, I'm wondering, is there some way to tell the story from the beginning of where we started to the conclusion of when all the schools are finished? So just as a recommendation, friendly recommendation, that if there's some way we can tell that story in a simple manner, I think it would serve us well.
And I think we've got everything. We've got video, and I think we've got the documentations and the plans probably well in hand to put something like that together.
You probably write the book and win a Pulitzer Prize.
Pay you the $100,000 or something?
I hope it has. I just hope it has a happy ending.
Any other comments by trustees, staff, citizens? Seeing none, we're adjourned.